Hey everybody, this is part 7 in our little tour of the Freecad Path workbench, and in this video I want to talk about the 3 ways that you can customize the workflow within Path to make it easier to create jobs and to speed up that process and avoid some of the errors. These 3 kind of interact with each other, and so I want to take them one at a time and then talk about how they interact and where that might cause some issues. So it's divided into 3 tabs across the top and 3 sections in here. The bottom 2 might get cut off or lost at the bottom. So I'm just going to step through some of the settings in here that are kind of important. The first is this path section or path setting in here, and you can browse for a directory. And this just tells Path where you want to store your template files and post-processors. And the template, you can choose one of the existing templates. We'll talk about those in a minute. And then any jobs that you create, that will be pre-selected in the dialog. And it'll save you a mouse click or two. These 2 settings for the geometry tolerance and the curve accuracy are pretty important. The object, or you'll get straight segments when you're expecting arc curves. So these should be set to like the post-processor section has some things that you almost certainly want to set up. Right in the middle is the list of all the post-processors that Freecad knows about. And, you know, nobody has all the different machines, so you almost certainly want to come in and turn off all of the post-processors except the ones you actually use. So I've got Linux CNC turned on and Smoothie for my laser cutter. Even better than that, you can go ahead and choose a post-processor in default, and then any jobs that you create will be created with that post-processor already set in them. And the default arguments can be set here as well, and those will be created in and the substitution will happen automatically. The file to be the same size as your model, you can adjust that here. And that's about it for global preferences. If you are a small shop who always works with one machine, so it's my location with deleteme.ngc, and if I create a template from this job and then create a new job from that template, it will use the same file. And that's worth noting because if my file name policy automatically overwrites, it'd be very easy for me to accidentally overwrite an existing G-code file that I want to keep. The last section in here is for setup sheets, which I haven't covered yet, but I will. But it works the same way. Is by enabling it, I can pick and choose which part of the setup sheet I want to be copied into the template. If I say OK, it'll give me a dialog to name my template. And templates have a naming format that has to be followed. It has to start with job, J-O-B _, and then any name that you want to give it. I'll call this steel2.json. It has to end in the JSON extension. Okay, I'll save my file. No, I won't. I'm just going to cancel or delete my file. Okay, now I'll select it and I'll create a job. And this time my template, you'll see, has the Steel 2 choice in here. And if I choose it, I'm back in the dialog, but the output values have all been set just as they were before. And my but the output values have all been set. And templates have a naming format that has to be followed. It has to start with job, J-O-B _JSON. It has to end in the JSON extension. Okay, I'll save my file. No, I won't. I'm just going to cancel or delete my file. Okay, now I'll select it and I'll create a job. And this time my template, you'll see, has the Steel 2 choice in here. And if I choose it, I'm back in the document. Okay, now I'll select it and I'll create a job. And this time my template, you'll see, has the Steel 2 choice in here. And if I choose it, to name my template. And templates have a naming format. Does all those settings, the post-processor selection, the argument, and I get a dialog asking me what exactly. Templates let you take an existing job that you've already created and save it as a template, which can then be used when you're creating new jobs, and it'll replicate a lot of what's in there. Not everything, but a lot of it. So in this case, I've already set up a job, and I've got some tools in here, and I've created some operations, and let's assume that my part is working in steel or something. I can take this job and select it in the tree, right click on it, and then export it as a template. And I get a dialog asking me what exactly I want to